She alleges that she's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd.
Guys, be releasing more documents and text messages?
Or sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
They're acting like lovers. That's her big harassment moment.
This was my experience with Blake Lively. We weren't allowed to talk to her on the set.
Primarily, people don't like to work with Blake Lively. I can also tell you personally, the rudest person that she had ever worked with was Blake Lively.
We weren't allowed to ask for an autograph. We were instructed, this way or that. We were treated like this.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit.
Blake Lively's sudden exit from the country has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, fueling a storm of speculation in an industry already drowning in controversy. For months, whispers of behind-the-scenes tension between Blake and director Justin Baldoni had been swirling, fueled by leaked messages, shifting public allegiances, and mounting rumors. But nothing could have prepared fans for what happened next. On the very same day, Justin unveiled a fresh batch of damning evidence. Blake abruptly packed her bags and disappeared overseas. In an era where scandals spread faster than official statements, her sudden departure ignited a media frenzy. Was she running from the fallout, protecting her privacy, or was there something even bigger at play? This drama traces back to the earliest days of Justin's highly anticipated film project, one that had audiences eager thanks to his reputation for crafting deeply emotional stories. Blake's casting seemed like a perfect match. She was known for her refined performances and undeniable charm, making her an obvious choice for a role of this magnitude. At first, everything seemed smooth. Reports from the set painted a picture of harmony, with Justin praising Blake's passion while she joked about how rewarding it was to be part of such a meaningful adaptation. But behind the smiles, the cracks were already formed.
Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context, Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress. And she said, he came in my trailer while I was breastfeeding. Well, then he produced the text messages showing her saying, I'm breastfeeding, come on over.
Crew members murmured that Blake, usually known for her easygoing nature, seemed tense around Justin, whose hands-on approach extended beyond directing to co-writing and starring in the film himself. And that's when things took a turn. Some speculated that juggling so many roles gave Justin too much control, leaving little room for an actor like Blake, someone accustomed to having a say in her projects. Over the weeks, subtle cracks in her composure started to show. She'd make half-hearted remarks about the intensity of Justin's creative vision, or shoot side-eye glances when he was praised a little too much. At first, fans brushed off the reports. Differences on set? Nothing new. But then the narrative took a sharp turn. Suddenly, articles started surfacing, painting Blake as cold, distant, even difficult to work with. And that's when she fired back with a shocking accusation. She claimed Justin was pulling the strings behind the scenes, using his influence as director to manipulate media coverage and tarnish her image, all to tighten his grip on creative control. And in today's world, where media spin is under constant scrutiny, her claims struck a nerve. She described a work environment where her concerns were casually dismissed, making it clear she felt Justin was monopolizing every major decision. For a while, public sympathy was squarely in Blake's corner. Many saw her frustration as part of a bigger issue, where male directors wield outsized influence over their female leads. But then, Justin hit back hard. He dropped unedited text exchanges that flipped the script. Instead of shutting Blake out, the messages showed him actively involving her, asking for her input, adjusting plans around her needs, and making sure she was heard. The question now? Who was really
was Justin didn't harass Blake? What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth?
Telling the truth. A different picture started to form, one where Justin wasn't the domineering director he'd been made out to be, but rather someone striving for balance, blindsided by Blake's sudden hostility. But the real shocker, hidden within those text logs, were hints that Blake had allegedly threatened to leverage her considerable influence, and that of her A-list husband, Ryan Reynolds, if Justin didn't bend to her vision. Once these details surfaced, the tide began to shift. Had the earlier reports been orchestrated to make Justin seem more controlling than he actually was? As tensions between Blake and Justin intensified, eyes turned to Ryan. His name appeared frequently in Blake's messages, often referred to as one of her dragons. The term was never fully explained, but it carried a clear implication. She had powerful allies at her disposal, ready to step in when needed. Speculation spiraled out of control. Had Ryan been subtly shaping public perception, using his star power to tip the scales? Or worse, was he actively involved in undermining Justin? But just as the internet fixated on Ryan's possible role, the entire scandal took an even more shocking twist. All eyes snapped back to Blake when her own attorney abruptly resigned, dropping a cryptic statement that suggested her version of events didn't fully align with the facts. In Hollywood, lawyers are known for handling scandals discreetly, not publicly casting doubt on their own clients. The fact that hers did, that was unprecedented, and it sent the industry into a frenzy. That alone was enough to send the media into a frenzy. But then, Justin did exactly what he had warned. He dropped even more receipts. In response to Blake continuing to frame him as dismissive and manipulative, he unveiled a fresh batch of text messages, dramatically titled New Receipts Capturing Extended Conversations. This wasn't just a few extra texts. These were pages upon pages of exchanges, spanning from the earliest days of pre-production all the way to the final wrap. And what did they reveal? Not only had Justin been thoughtful and communicative, but he had actively worked to ease tensions with Blake. The messages showed him repeatedly checking in, apologizing for any unintentional missteps, adjusting schedules to accommodate her, and encouraging her to voice any concerns directly. According to multiple anonymous crew members, the set had actually felt collaborative, for a while at least. But here's where things took an explosive turn. Hidden within this latest batch of messages were private texts from Blake to her confidants. Texts that appeared to outline a strategy for calling out flaws in Justin's leadership if it served her greater goals. One particularly damning thread hinted at how she could time certain revelations, including postpartum struggles and safety concerns on set, to overshadow major promotional moments for the film, strategically shifting the narrative in her favor. While there was still no direct evidence linking Ryan to these tactics, references to My Circle and her dragons surfaced again, reinforcing the idea that Blake felt she had powerful allies ready to rally behind her when needed. At this point, the industry wasn't just watching, it was
Look at the body language experts analyzing this right now. How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
reeling. Mere hours after Justin's new receipts hit the public, Blake was gone. Just like that. Reports flooded in. She had abruptly canceled multiple appearances, including a crucial promo event for an entirely different project. Her management? Silent. The mystery deepened when flight logs leaked, revealing she had boarded a private jet with barely any luggage and only a small select entourage. Then came the photos. Blake spotted in an airport lounge, sunglasses on, hat pulled low, exuding an air of discomfort. Those who saw her in person described her as tense, avoiding eye contact and skipping the usual friendly waves she was known for during public outings. The internet erupted. Was she fleeing to escape the fallout of Justin's revelations? Or was she simply overwhelmed, seeking a break from the relentless scrutiny? Opinions were divided. Some sympathized, arguing that even if the latest evidence cast doubt on her claims, the sheer intensity of the backlash was enough to drive anyone into hiding. Others weren't buying it. If Blake truly believed in her side of the story, why vanish right when she had the chance to defend herself? Wouldn't confronting Justin's receipts head-on be the stronger move? Meanwhile, Justin's response to her disappearance was calm, but unmistakably pointed. He maintained that his only priority had been preserving the film's integrity and protecting his own reputation. Publicly, he expressed regret that things had escalated to the point where Blake felt the need to leave. But in the same breath, he made one thing clear. If these messages were accurate, there was no doubt about who had been shaping the narrative all along. And just as the world processed that, the spotlight shifted again. This time, straight onto Ryan Reynolds. Already accused of working behind the scenes with Blake to discredit Justin, Ryan Reynolds suddenly found himself in the direct line of fire. With Blake making a swift exit, the question loomed. Would he follow or stay behind to contain the fallout? Rumors swirled that Ryan was in full damage control mode, frantically reaching out to PR and legal teams to protect his career. And for a comedy star, this was the worst possible nightmare. The headlines were no longer about his witty social media posts or upcoming projects. Instead, they were plastered with damning text messages, speculation about his role in Blake's alleged scheme, and whispers about whether he'd been pulling strings from the shadows. Then there was TJ Miller, the actor who had previously hinted at Ryan's deeper involvement. But now, he took a step back. No more explosive claims, no fresh accusations. Instead, in a rare moment of restraint, he told interviewers that he didn't need to say more. The latest receipts from Justin spoke for themselves. He even admitted to feeling vindicated. Many had doubted his credibility, but now, the texts seemed to confirm key elements of his story, particularly the allegations of carefully timed leaks and media manipulation designed to sabotage Justin's film. Hollywood insiders were stunned. The fallout wasn't just threatening a single production, it was threatening the entire Blake and Ryan brand. Known for their picture-perfect marriage and effortless comedic chemistry, they were now facing serious professional consequences. Some producers were reportedly rethinking deals with them, worried about the risk of working with actors accused of orchestrating behind-the-scenes attacks. One unnamed executive put it bluntly, "Public perception matters. When two A-listers are suspected of smearing a director, studios take notice. No one wants to invest millions into a project when the stars are unpredictable behind the scenes." And fans? Divided like never before. Social media erupted into heated debates. Some still defended Blake and Ryan, arguing that Justin's receipts were misleading or incomplete. Others, however, saw the new evidence as undeniable proof that Hollywood's most beloved power couple had been playing a dangerous game. For some, Justin's receipts were definitive proof that Blake had been pulling the strings all along, but others weren't convinced, insisting that key context was still missing. Some speculated that her abrupt departure was purely a matter of emotional self-defense, a reaction to feeling isolated and attacked. Others, however, saw it as a calculated escape, an attempt to avoid scrutiny, or worse, potential legal consequences if Justin or others decided to pursue defamation claims. Then came the wild theories. Was she secretly meeting up with Ryan in some remote hideout, plotting a scandalous tell-all from exile? Though no hard evidence supported these claims, speculation ran rampant. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, those who had worked tirelessly on Justin's film felt a wave of relief. Many crew members had been exhausted by months of false narratives that painted Justin as unprofessional. They had poured their energy into making a deeply emotional and meaningful adaptation, only to watch the project be overshadowed by controversy. Some insiders admitted that while minor disagreements on set were inevitable, nothing had ever justified the media storm that erupted after whispers of Justin's supposed inattentiveness spread. By releasing the full text logs, Justin didn't just clear his name. He also vindicated the crew members who had quietly supported him, afraid to speak up before for fear of not being believed. But with Blake gone, one question dominated conversations. Where had she fled? Social media sleuths pieced together airport sightings, tracing her to a European city known for ultra-exclusive celebrity retreats. At one posh hotel, an employee even claimed to have spotted a woman who looked exactly like Blake, checking in under a different name, wearing oversized sunglasses to hide her face. Paparazzi flocked to the area, but she was nowhere to be found. Was she burrowing deeper into secrecy, retreating to a place where no cameras could follow? Or was she simply waiting for the perfect moment to re-emerge, armed with her own version of events, one that could completely flip the narrative once again? The sheer chaos of it all left many reflecting on just how fragile star power can be. Not long ago, Blake seemed untouchable, beloved for her quick-wit in interviews, praised for her philanthropy, and admired for her carefully curated social media presence. But now, that polished image was showing cracks. Her sudden disappearance, timed suspiciously close to Justin's bombshell revelations, carried a sense of finality. It wasn't just a personal scandal anymore, it was a public unraveling. Brand deals, in limbo, upcoming roles, uncertain. In Hollywood, reputations can flip overnight, especially when the illusion of a harmonious collaboration is shattered by whispers of orchestrated leaks and behind-the-scenes sabotage. Meanwhile, Justin seized the moment to reaffirm his commitment to the film, making it clear that, despite the drama, the project would be completed and released as planned. He refused to let the controversy define the movie. In press interviews, he emphasized that, while the Blake fiasco had overshadowed production, the story itself still deserved an audience. His cast and crew stood by him. Many came forward, publicly praising his steady leadership and the calm professionalism he had maintained through months of turmoil. Some even called the entire ordeal a cautionary tale, proving just how easily star power and media manipulation can drown out the true creative work behind the scenes. As for Blake, her next move remains a mystery. If she thought fleeing the spotlight would make the scandal disappear, she may have miscalculated. Justin's new receipts have breathed new life into the controversy, ensuring the story won't fade anytime soon. Instead of moving on, the headlines have only intensified, with many now seeing her abrupt departure as proof that the allegations against her weren't just rumors, but cold, hard reality. That final note is key. Hollywood thrives on redemption arcs, but the question remains, does Blake have one in her? At the moment, she has no real rebuttal. The evidence against her is voluminous, detailed, and damning. Some industry watchers believe that after a period of silence and recalibration, she may attempt a carefully managed PR comeback, framing the scandal as a misunderstanding or an emotional overreaction. Perhaps she will express contrition, clarify the context of those damning texts, or even shift the blame onto media misinterpretation. Others, however, aren't so sure. They suspect she may remain in exile indefinitely, avoiding the limelight until the industry moves on to its next scandal. And what about Ryan? His next steps are just as crucial. With Blake overseas, presumably somewhere far from paparazzi hotspots, will he remain in the US to handle the fallout alone? Or will he quietly join her? If he vanishes too, it would only reinforce suspicions that their sudden retreat was a meticulously planned dodge rather than an overwhelmed actress seeking solace. Already, the press is turning up the heat on him, demanding answers about the dragons Blake allegedly referenced in her texts. Was their beloved comedic banter online nothing more than a smokescreen for strategic behind-the-scenes manipulations? Meanwhile, TJ Miller has doubled down. He confirmed that many of the details in Justin's receipts align with whispers he'd heard over the years, but had never been able to verify. Now, the logs provide irrefutable proof. While he maintains that his intention was never to ruin careers, he insists the truth needed to be told. In interviews, he admitted feeling some sympathy for Blake's position, but placed the blame squarely on her own actions. So, where does this all lead? Time. That's what it will take for the dust to truly settle. The industry has a short memory, and if history has proven anything, it's that Hollywood loves a comeback story. But for Blake, redemption will only come if she's willing to face the controversy head-on. Whether she chooses to fight or fade away is the next chapter waiting to unfold. The sheer scale of Justin's newly released evidence complicates any simple comeback for Blake. If these logs reveal a pattern of manipulation, it will be impossible for fans and industry peers to reconcile her current actions with the warm, friendly persona she once projected. Her public image was polished, almost flawless. But now, cracks are forming, and the magnitude of the evidence is hard to ignore. Some insiders have speculated that her sudden departure might actually generate some sympathy, especially from those who know just how intense the entertainment world can be. The psychological toll of a scandal like this is no joke. To some, her leaving may be seen as an emotional escape, a desperate attempt to shield herself from the storm of media attention rather than a strategic retreat. But that nuance may get lost in the noise. Headlines are already framing her exit as a silent admission of guilt, a move that suggests she knows she's been caught. And with every passing day, those theories grow stronger. The one thing this entire drama makes abundantly clear is that alliances in Hollywood can shatter faster than we can blink. When private messages are exposed to the public, trust evaporates in an instant. Justin, for his part, has been consistent in his attempts to keep things professional. His repeated calls for civility, his insistence that he's acted in the best interests of the film, have earned him a degree of respect, especially in an industry that's growing increasingly wary of the kind of star tantrums that have taken center stage here. While it's still unclear whether Blake's abrupt exit was truly the breaking point, the timing makes it hard to ignore the possibility of a direct connection. What was once an image of glamour and playful charm now gives way to an association with controversy, spin, and, in the end, a mysterious retreat from the public eye. The question remains, can she ever bounce back from this? As days drag on and weeks pass, fans are left hanging, waiting for any glimpse of Blake. Whether it's an authentic social media post, a leaked paparazzi shot from some exotic retreat, or a formal statement from her to explain why she fled. In the void of clear answers, theories and gossip explode, casting her as everything from a strategic mastermind to a frazzled victim. Meanwhile, Justin is pushing forward, determined to finish the film and reclaim the spotlight. He's working through the final stages, hoping the completed project will steal the headlines back from the drama that's consumed everyone. TJ is also on standby, ready to step in if the narrative shifts or any contradictions surface. And so, the story unfolds, a cautionary tale about the fragility of Hollywood illusions. It's a world where even the most adored stars can find themselves exiled when the truth, or what's perceived to be the truth, comes to light. Blake's sudden exit is a harsh reminder of just how quickly things can change. In Hollywood's high-stakes world of big-budget productions and tight-knit teams, the truth, or even the mere perception of it, can shift in an instant. One moment, you're the darling of an exciting project. The next, you're quietly boarding a plane, hoping the distance will silence a storm fueled by leaked text logs, revelations, and a director who isn't backing down.